Hey everyone, this is Ashish from Developer Hut and welcome to the next topic of Go for Beginners series, which is Go functions. So function is a block of a statement which you can use repeatedly in your program. Now, if you see here, main is also one kind of a function. Okay, and here we use main function which contains some specific code blocks and we ran again and again. Okay, however, main is a special function. We can also create another function which can do some other job for us. So how can you use the function? So basically there are two ways to use the function. The first is we need to create a function where we will define what this particular function will be doing. And then next is we call the function from any other function. Let's say from main, we will call the function. Now you have to call the function because function will not be automatically called. You have to explicitly give a call to that particular function. Okay. Now let's see simple syntax to create the function. So syntax is very simple. You have to use the func keyword, okay, and then function name, okay, and then open and curly brace and your code block. Okay, so this is how we can create the function. Okay, now let's create one very simple function here. Okay, I think I missed one slash. So let's see very simple example. So I will create one function. Let's say I have to create the function outside the main function. So I will say function, okay, and I will say my function 1, okay, and let's add one println statement. So I will say fmt dot println, and I will say inside my function 1, okay, and let's save it. Now this is what we have created the function or declared the function. Now let's call this function. So call is very simple. You just need to add the function name, open and curly brace. Okay, now this is how we call the function. Okay, now let's try to run this program. So I will say go run and functions.go. So here you can see the output. We called the function. So we created the function and we called the function. Okay, this is basically called as a function call. Okay, now you can call function multiple times as well. So if I just simply copy paste this, it will still work. Okay, let's try to run this again. So here you can see we called function 3 times and 3 times function is executed. So there are specific rules to create the functions. Okay, same as like what we saw for variable names, right? So these are the few naming rules to create the function. The first thing is function name must start with a letter. Okay, then next is your function name can contain alphanumeric characters as well as underscore, the same way what we have created. Also the function names are case sensitive. So my function, this function, and I will create one more function here with different name. So I will say capital my and capital F. Okay, so both these functions are different. Okay, so this is what the important thing is. All the function names are case sensitive. Okay, and then last is function name should not contain any spaces, okay, or any other special symbols except underscore. Okay, so these are the naming rules for a function. So I hope you understand the concept of the function, and we will see more about function in our next topic. So you can try the exercises which I added in the GitHub repository before you move to the next topic. If you have any questions, you can add it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.